Hey everybody, this is a new video cast podcast called What You Want. Is called Stage Banter. There's a lot of podcasts out there to talk about bands, interviewing the bands. I'm going to focus on the cool shit, the dumb shit, the rad shit, the stupid shit, the shit that gets said on stage by people who've had too much to drink, nothing to drink, and everything in between. I am here with one of my best buds in the world, Steve C., also known as RATH from RATH The Wise Guys. I'm sure you know them. They are a tour monster machine. RATH is always touring by himself with his support group, the Wise Guys, with his other dudes, the Social Infants. He's always putting out podcasts. DCPC Live would almost not have existed without him. He's the one that helped us do so many of our original live streams. We put out his band on our 10th release. I mean, this guy is just a demon monster, and I hope his wife shows up because she's crazy scene supportive as well, taking these killer-ass photos, putting out a punk rock yearbook. It's more than just the musicians that make this shit happen. It's the people out there doing things, and Steve is one of those people doing. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Fucking awesome. So, so this whole thing, as you said, it's going to be all about like Stage Banter. So we're actually going to hit you hard and fast. I have a song coming up for you. It's off your new EP, In the Mirrors. I believe that you called In the Mirrors. And I am going to give you 30 seconds I'm not even going to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to tell you about count of 10. You're going to give me a 15-second song introduction. You are on stage. There are 5 people watching you plus a dog. All right? You need to get those 5 people excited so they don't leave and go outside and take a smoke or go take a piss. Your song's about to come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Intro it.
All right. What's up, everybody? I hope this song makes you happy. It makes me happy, and we're happy to play it. And I hope that you are happy people listening to this song.
Cover up your grave, losing your innocence. Won't bring back consequences. Can't hear a word you say. Make sure you stay inside. Despite what you're pretending, we're all here just for the ride. We're on this ride to wherever we decide. There was a day when I couldn't see the other side, but I woke up and I said, fuck that shit, I've got something to do. So I looked in the mirror and said, fuck you.
All right, you're going to have to go to Spotify to hear the rest of that on your own, and I think you're going to want to because that shit is just super crazy dope. How'd that feel being put on the spot like that, buddy?
Thanks, man. Awful. Well, considering we opened with that song, and so I try not to say a lot before it normally, and so that was a very like, oh shit, I actually have to think of something to say.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I've seen you so many times, but I'm not sure if I've noticed like you've been opening this one since the last time I saw you. But that kind of goes in. Okay,
I don't even think we had it the last time that you were
around.
Yeah.
So
it's been a minute.
That gets to one of my next questions. Do you practice your stage banter during your practices? Do you plan what you're going to say?
No. I mean, most of the process comes from trying stupid shit, and I'll go and watch. I mean, I watch a lot of old concert footage, so I watch a lot of Nirvana and Green Day and like Motley Crue.
Yeah,
they say a lot of stupid shit, and so I'll kind of work with that, and then I improv live, and so I'll say something stupid, and if it sticks, I kind of work it into the sets from there. But
so you do have like running gags. Like I know when I was in Call Dead, we had this one song, and our bass player always wanted to say, "Hey, everyone, this is slow song. Grab your partner," and then like a grindcore song would come on, and it was like, well, it was funny the first 5 times maybe.
Right, and I mean like it. That's one of the most interesting parts is keeping it interesting to you, because if it's not, then it's definitely going to fall flat. But if it's something that you can keep sort of interesting, I come from a theater background, so retelling the same jokes and stupid lines over and over again that you are no longer laughing at is a huge, it's just something you do.
Yeah, no, it's true. So do you tend to do your banter like between certain sets? Like you play a 3-song set, stop, and then like you have the banter kind of pre-planned, like where it may happen at least, like this is where we take a break, or do you guys tend to just go straight through and then if it happens, it happens?
I try. Honestly, I do try to figure out where it's gonna go, and then once you get up on stage, everything's gone.
Yes.
So, I try to fit it in. I forget half the stuff, more than half the stuff that I planned, and then sometimes it just comes out wherever it does, wherever you remember to say one of your pre-planned lines.
So you're Wrath. So you say you're probably the one that talks the most. Is there anyone that is not allowed to talk or should not be allowed to talk? Would that be you actually?
I think across the board drummers shouldn't talk.
As a drummer, I agree.
I that's probably the regular, the general consensus there. But
is that just because we don't have a microphone back there? Because like drummers just really shouldn't be fucking trusted.
I think they say some dumb shit. And I mean that it's not like I don't say dumb shit, I feel like there's a higher ratio of dumb to smart when it comes to the drummers. I don't, but my bassist does say a lot, and I mean I'm thankful for that because I don't have to pull all the weight the whole time. It's really hard, especially you've seen us. I put my guitar down and pick it up half the time, and so when I go and do that, something's got to happen.
Someone's got to talk. Someone's got to pick up the slack. No, all right. Yeah. So my next segment is called "Fuck Yeah, Fuck No." All right, I'm going to give you some things that I hear people say all the time. And you got a piece of paper nearby? No, we'll just do it without the paper, but
I got some paper.
All right. Right, fuck yeah on one side, fuck no on the other side. We'll see if we agree or disagree on these things.
Okay. Let's see. I know I can do it. I gotta find something that'll show up well on this paper.
Come on, I guess let's keep the banter going while you're doing this. Hey, everybody. So while he's looking at it, I'm going to do some stage banterizing. Hopefully, we're going to keep doing this, and we're going to have like multiple bands on here. And I don't know about you, but I think Steve would make a great regular co-host for this sort of shit too, because he's just that kind of guy. I'd love to have him on here with me regularly. I just asked him right here now. So now he's going to have to like say yes or no in front of a live studio audience, except this isn't live. I'm a drummer. I shouldn't say shit.
See,
I said shit the other day. We played the Ottawa with my old band, the Overprivileged, and I said some shit. And it was like the sort of joke I would have made when I was like 22. My wife's like, yeah, the young girls out there did not like that. I was like, I don't even mean it like that. She's like, I know you don't mean it like that. And that's not even who you are. But you made the joke anyway. And I was like, I don't know why I did. I could blame it on beer, and
that's the risky. It is. You definitely have to take accountability for.
I said it.
Even if you don't mean it, you know what I mean? Like people, it's really hard to justify where improvisational comedy comes from. And it's just sort of shit that popped into my head. And I'm not, maybe, one of the biggest things, I have a 6-year-old, he's OB7 this coming month. And one of the biggest things we have to tell him is just slow down and think before you do shit. And we kind of lose sight of that, having 30 minutes of this attention. And we've got to constantly, we feel like we constantly have to fill somebody else's attention and be exciting. And we say the shit that pops into our head. And it's like, oh, it was exciting that I said that, but maybe not in a necessarily correct way. And that's, like you said, that's not even necessarily how you think or anything like that.
It's about time and place, though. Like there's certain jokes. Look at the audience. Is this the appropriate audience? Within that realm,
right?
All right, you got your fuck yes, fuck no's.
Yeah, I'm hoping this shows up. It'll
be fine. I'll be able to read it. The question is, are we going to agree or disagree? Okay. Yeah, I see it. There we go.
Oh, see, and now it's going to be the opposite.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I got 2 papers. Look at you. You're better than me.
I was just like, front and back. Fuck it.
I mean, I ripped like pieces of shit paper. And I got this background showing. There you go. You don't even get to see mine. So I'm just gonna do the middle finger. If
I do it right over my chest,
there you go. That works. So I'll do the middle finger when it's that, and I'll do the thumbs up. I can't do the OK symbol because that's white power shit now. So they stole that from us, assholes.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah. All right. So Is it ever okay while you're playing a show to, in between songs, tell the audience to dance? Fuck no.
Oh,
No.
well,
They should already be doing it.
well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No.
Okay, I feel that.
That's like asking them to clap. It's a comedian asking people to laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I mean, all right. All right.
Okay, you can defend yourself.
I mean, I guess it is just sort of time and place. People, as a as a masochist, I can relate to people wanting to be told what to do. You know, a man yelling at them, just I don't know what I'm talking about.
I guess it depends on how you do it, right? Like
Right,
you could be
right.
like, "Hey, everybody, come on! I want to see some dancing here." You're all just standing still, like you're criticizing them.
Right,
Or
like
if you're
that's
doing it like, "Let's tear this place apart."
right. Like, or we usually just say we got a dancing song, so like whatever,
Yeah.
as opposed to just pushing.
Yes, as opposed to just pushing.
Right.
All right. Is it ever okay to ask people to sing along to your cover song?
We do it.
Yeah,
I do
that's
it.
good. That's
I'm
okay.
guilty.
You can do that. People
I'm
need to know
guilty.
that it's okay to come up and get on the mic with you. It's all right to let them know that you're okay with that. I think
And
that's okay.
I mean, we played radio by Rancid since we started, and I mean, now we've got YouTube videos up that show like we have 4 full bands on stage with us singing. And it's
I
really
sang
cool,
along with you
man.
that one time you vomited.
Yeah. Yes, and that's you know what? I haven't done that in about a year. I'm,
Oh,
I'm
that's
pretty.
disappointing.
I know. Well, I'm getting in better shape. I'm staying hydrated and shit, so it helps.
All right. Is it ever okay to ask someone in the crowd, anybody, to bring you a drink while you're playing a show because you need a beverage?
I do it.
No,
I do it.
no,
I do it. You know
no.
what? You know what? I'm a rock star, motherfucker. Bring me a drink. You work for me now.
Chris would do it all the time. He'd shout, I need a rum and coke. Rum
Oh,
and coke. Someone
I
bring me a rum and coke.
I do it as a pure flex. I'm like, you know what? Y'all work for me now. Someone's gonna bring me a drink, or you're not getting a good show. So I mean, half the time I'm dying, and I fucking need it. So
No. Well, that's the thing. Like, if he actually needs, like, well, I could use a water or something like that. Or even I just need a beer because I'm back there and I don't have one. He doesn't need anything to quench his thirst. He's just already drunk and wants to get drunker.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if it's part of the set, it's part of the set.
But it worked. It worked, and obviously he didn't pay for it. So
right, you always get a free drink out of it.
Yep.
So fuck it.
Yep, I understand. All right, this next one's kind of tricky. I don't know how I feel about this next one.
Ooh, okay.
Is it ever okay to introduce your band members, or is it a classic rock holdover?
That is an iffy one.
It is an iffy one. I'm not even sure I can do a fuck yeah or fuck no. Like,
I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to put it in the middle because it's
fuck you,
I think
maybe.
it's like a time and place kind of thing. Like if we've got the energy for it, and I remember, there's a part in the mirror that I like to do because that middle section we all sort of have little solos or whatever. So I'll sort of introduce right before they do their little solo if I remember. But
well,
it's
like
not
in your
that
nature
important to me.
You're the main songwriter, right?
Right.
Like you're Wrath. And the Wise Guys, and you've had great people playing with you, but you also go on tour with other people. So it's not quite like you're Garth Brooks with a backing band, but at the same time, you're not like a band that's maintaining the same consistent members, all the time. You have your touring band, you have your local band, and then things in between sometimes change and go. And you kind of have that rock and rolling nature to you. It's like you're basically taking Kiss and Motley Crue and mixing it with like No Effects and Pennywise, a little bit of screeching music. Your
I
beach,
like that.
Your
I think
beach
that's
punk.
my favorite. I think that's my favorite overall description so far. That's awesome.
You're welcome. I listen to you a lot. I know what you sound like.
And you've seen us,
I've seen you.
Like,
and it fits your persona, but could you have seen Colin Dead like introducing each other?
I feel like in joke form. It's sort of like you don't introduce, but you say each other's names. There's enough back and forth on stage to where like you meet everybody. So I think that's a pretty cool that you don't have to introduce each other. You just sort of talk shit about each other, and it it all comes out. It's cool in that
Talking
way.
shit, that gets into my next one. Is it okay to be self-deprecating about how well you're playing, to basically say, "Oh, sorry, we suck tonight, guys," or "We're a shitty band"? Is it ever okay to insult yourself?
Genre wise, I think there's a genre, but most of the time, no.
I say fuck
Like
no,
I
right?
you know what
Yeah.
sucks is we do it, especially when we get drunk. We're like, oh man, this sucks. And it's
Yeah.
something that you sort of do just have to like, nah. I mean,
My
if you're
old bass player in
entertaining,
the
that's all that
Overprivileged would
matters.
do it all the time. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
they
And
don't
it's like,
care. They're having fun.
right.
Don't pee in their Wheaties.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, do you want to be here? I want to watch someone who wants to be up there. And as long as you want to be up there, you're gonna do half the job, right? So I mean, yeah, it is just kind of annoying
Yeah.
sometimes because it's like, dude, if you suck that bad, just go. Like
Yeah.
then
No,
stop. Like I
why
don't
are
I
you
don't really
wasting the
want
time?
to
Just
hear
stop
it. Right.
playing.
Like
Yeah, just go away. Or just play really hard and really fast, and people
mhm.
are dancing and drinking and they're having a good time, and they're listening to you, but they're also just enjoying the overall atmosphere and experience. So just
Mhm.
relax. They're not
Like
going, "Oh my gosh, he hit an E when he should have hit an A on that last note."
right.
They're
And
not doing that. I
if it's a
mean,
shtick, it's kind of an overused
yeah.
shtick at
I mean,
that
there's
point.
someone in the back that's probably sitting back there commenting on the fact that like you're tuned down a half step too low, and like they're like paying attention to everything, going, "Oh, he fucked up that paradiddle on that snare fill."
Oh, I
Like,
mean, it's we're playing punk though. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, of course we suck.
yeah. But
Like,
that's the point, right?
you know who
The-
doesn't suck live while they're playing? No effects. They're
yeah.
good. That's about it. That's what
Which,
you got. We're
which is
not.
why that NoFX Rancid split sucks so bad, because NoFX is way too tight and Rancid is way too sloppy. And I
Yeah.
forget which side I actually sounded okay, but overall I thought the whole album was terrible, because I'm like, no, this just goes to show you that like certain bands should not cover certain songs.
And it was cool.
It was cool.
Friendship is nice. It's a nice little extra bit. But yeah, for value, eh,
I have it, but I don't ever listen to it.
right, right.
I was
Like
like, I'll
I'll
pick
throw on
this up.
radio's
Okay.
on that one, right? Like
Huh.
I'll throw on radio every now
Yeah.
and then because it's
So,
it's kind of fun. But
yeah.
yeah, that song's sloppy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to sound like that.
And NoFX did that
So
with Frank Turner. It was a little bit better. A little bit better.
right,
I'm a big Frank Turner fan. I was like, some of them
mhm,
worked well, some of them were
right,
like, we'll just
right. I
never
mean,
talked about that shortcut again.
right. I mean, they're musicians. They're
Yeah.
they're actually really really good musicians, and whatever.
All right. Last fuck yeah, fuck no is going to lead us into our next part. All right. So, I grew up in the DC era. Fugazi would tell people not to dance, make sure it's safe for everyone. I just recently saw a band called Drug Church do their show up in Albany, an Albany band. And they had a whole bunch of bands, 5 or 6 bands open for them. And you had like indie rock bands, bands that sound like Weezer and like Jeff Rosenstock, and like total heavy metal bands, straight up like youthcore, hardcore bands. So the audience was this very mixed array group of people. And Drug Church themselves are a mixture of like grunge, punk, and metal. So he like literally at one point kind of stopped in between the set and said, "Hey guys, we need to watch how we're treating each other, because not everyone here is used to enjoying a show the same way. So you need to, like, instead of a kick pit, we need to turn it to a push pit, and we need to like come up a little closer to see, make sure we catch people that are stage diving so they're not hitting the floor. So we all need to kind of work together to create a positive experience." And I was like, huh. So those are 2 examples of stage banter that like helped the crowd. Versus I watched the Woodstock documentary where Limp Bizkit basically incited a riot, which I saw them do that shit at Ozfest once too. So I'm like, how much responsibility is you as a band and your stage banter to make sure that the audience is safe? Have you ever had to deal with a fight or had to like calm the audience down? And if not, how would you do it?
I mean, luckily I haven't had to stop for a fight or anything. I've seen people go down in the pit and I'll sort of, I'll watch closely, and if they aren't picked up quickly, I'll make sure we stop and I make a point to say something like that. But luckily we haven't personally run into that. I think you definitely have a responsibility. I think, and that's why it's sort of like when you see these videos of like Corey Taylor or Dave Grohl or whoever, Billy Joe stopping the crowd to stop a fight. It's like, well, you should. I
Yeah.
mean, if you see it, you're not like this white knight great guy because you stopped your song to like help a person, you probably should do that. I mean,
It
if
seems
you
like the
see
bare
it,
minimum, right?
right? Like, I'm not like a cop, but you see it, you say something. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I remember I was running a show once, and it was like during Sunday matinees in DC when the United 121 soccer hooligans would come out, and then somebody was getting boot stomped because he talked to someone's girl the wrong way. I had to stop the show because I'm like, nah, dude, I can't have 5 people like stepping on the dude. I don't even care if he did something wrong. I was like, we're not going to have that happen in the middle of my club during a show. I was like, we're just not having that. You guys got to go. You got to go.
And unfortunately, that's what when we live in such a fragile state, especially for underground music, it's like, man, the one getting caught one time with violence in a venue is enough to shut it down. And it's like, dude, we can't do it. You know, get it out. You know, just not here. You know, just go.
All right. So on that, I have best talk. I have 2 bands playing songs that are live, because I love live records, where a fight breaks out in their songs. We're going to see which band handles it the most. The first band is Avail, one of my favorite bands of all time. And they're actually playing Nameless, which is a song about not fucking fighting. And then someone breaks out into the fight.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to play that one, and we'll play it till it gets to the fight. And then we'll stop it. So I don't want to belabor the point. And then we'll go on to the next band, which is Off With Their Heads, who also have a fight breakout. So it's glorious.
Nice.
All right. You ready, sir?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Until all the trouble is out the door.
All right, so pretty straightforward. But you laughed at the right spot. Right. I was like, oh, it's not. I was like, this whole song is about not fighting. How ironic you ass clowns are fighting.
Right. That's wild.
They kept the music going, so they kept people still focused. They didn't drop it out. It was like, okay, we're gonna get the trouble out of here. So that's one way of dealing with it. So now we got to see how Off With Their Heads deals with it. You ever seen Off With Their Heads?
I haven't, but they're coming through their second time in a year. I think they're right before Fest. They're coming through again. So
go see them if you can. They were my pandemic band. They kept me from basically murdering everyone in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have become one of those crazy psycho people, because I was like, oh yeah, these guys got it. All right, so here we go.
continue to change lives. That's right. You know what I'm saying.
All right. So who won that battle?
I mean, I definitely think Off With Their Heads was a little more on there. I mean, I'd probably be like, I don't necessarily want to say aggressive about it, but I'd probably be a little, on more on that side where it's like, yo, we're not gonna go. We're not gonna keep going until this is over.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a difference because, like, it was the dude hit ostensibly a female, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm gonna assume during the Abel show that it was like two dudes fighting. Would they have reacted differently if some dude was clocking a girl?
Right. They might have just like called it,
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah, because it's like, dude, like for real?
Yep.
Jeez.
All right. So this next part is called I'm Not a Cliche. And I've got a little intro for it by one of my favorite bands growing up called the X-Ray Specs. You ever heard of them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is off one of their live albums because, well, everything should be live, right?
Everything should be live.
Everything.
I am a cliche.
That's it.
That's me. There we go.
All right. So I want in 15 seconds for you to come up. I'll give you 30 seconds. Every cliche that you have heard a band say on stage.
Oh, fuck.
30 seconds. I'm going to go to.
Oh, man.
Cliches.
Damn it.
Oh, you're freezing on me.
I know I'm actually not that good at the improv.
That's all man. Good.
Cliches. We try to avoid them so hard. Now they're all gone. Man. I don't know why I have nothing.
All right, I came up with enough for both of us.
Why do I have nothing?
Let's be fair. I've been thinking about this for a week, so
right.
To be fair to you. All right. Number one, tip your bartender.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody, get out there, tip your bartender.
I mean, it gets a nice reaction, and it's a nice way to have the bar like you a little bit more. At least,
I don't think it's wrong to do, but it is all we said, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How about this one? All right, thanks everyone coming out. We have merch in the back. Please make sure you check out our merch. We're on all of the social medias, the Instagram, the Spotify. Follow us, listen.
Right. And it feels obligated, but everyone sort of knows.
It's like you're just going to say it. Hey, everyone, thanks for coming out to the show. Thank you, name a venue, for having us. Thank blah, 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 the two opening bands whose names I barely remember. I'm trying to make sure I get them all. And thank the headlining band for having us here.
Yep.
Those are the most ubiquitous things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the problem, dude. We got a problem. The problem is your drummer broke his bass pedal and he needs a drum key to fix it. And he doesn't have a drum key on him. So someone had to run out to the parking lot to get a drum key. And you have a minute of spare time to do. And you need to spend 1 minute now talking to the audience without using any of the cliches we just talked about.
Oh, perfect.
Without sounding like a mendicant. So, ready, set, 1 minute.
All right. Hey, so is everybody drunk yet? Anybody?
Yeah!
All right. Well, we usually get nothing. So I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So yeah, just to let you guys know, we do have some things for sale. I have shrimp in my trunk, and there's a lot of it. And so if you follow me to the parking lot after this, my boss is gonna get really mad if I don't move. And it's not starting to smell. It's not, but I want to get rid of it. You see the person out there taking pictures right now while I'm pointing. That's my beautiful wife out there. I have a great built-in. That's my wife out there. Great support, taking all the pictures and all the video. Yeah. So
And your drummer
I
goes
need
back
a
with the
I
drum
need a
key.
I need a beer. Someone bring me a beer now.
How'd that go?
Awful about the way it normally does.
But would it have been easier if you could have used all those cliches?
You know, like I said, because I try to stray away from those as much as
Yeah.
possible. I try to come up with more. It's a little easier on the spot, especially not at 10 in the morning when I have had a little bit to drink. My mind's flowing a little bit more. But
It's hard to force inspirato when you're just talking to your buddy on Zoom.
right, right. I should have practiced this morning or something.
Oh, speaking of which, you did just he is back. Let's play a little bit more of your music because I think everyone deserves to hear it. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's cool with me. Right.
It's way too hot, and I keep getting stiff. But it's easy for me to keep from getting pissed. Cause I know where I'll be after my shift. At the beach, getting shit faced. Have a good summer, don't come back next year. There's sharks in the water, and there's no more beer.
Now, you should hear that song on Spotify, but you should also hear the live version on DCPC Volume 10. I don't know why I didn't play you that live version. And you can actually hear some of Steve's real live banter. I believe he said we're all going to be Satan worshipers on one of the songs at one point.
Actually, that's the very beginning of our side is we're all going to hell tonight.
Yes. So I was like, oh, there's some good banter right there. Song about drugs. I haven't said drugs yet. Lots of drugs.
I say lots of drugs.
Lots of drugs.
A lot
drugs.
That one. Yeah, it's funny that version of Stiffed is the third version that we've put out now. That one you just played.
Yeah.
So I had the original single that I did by myself to have our band as part of a comp super early on, and then we got the live one, and then now our official studio version.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
super fun.
So, are you familiar with the band Propaganda?
Familiar. I know, like I've listened, but I'm not. I haven't done my deep dive into their discography yet.
They're one of those political bands. So their second album was called Less Talk More Rock. Less Rock More Talk. Oh my god, I can't remember which one it is. But that's kind of the point, right? Which one should it be? Like I've seen plenty of band out there that just kind of goes off and will have like 15-minute diatribes, particularly when it's a political band. And then you have other bands that get up there and they do 30 minutes of straight nonstop music, don't even introduce themselves and play. What's the right balance of banter? How much should a band talk?
Right. And I gotta make the mentions because I know I had thought about this before, and the ones that I've seen that do the most talking have been No Effects and Social Distortion.
Fascinating. Those would not have been the two I would have thought of.
Oh, dude, Fat Mike. I've seen No Effects once, and they would play a 30-second song, and he would talk for like 5 minutes, and most of it was about needing more vodka milk. It's not even super political. The dude just likes to talk, and we know that.
Yeah.
But Mike Ness loves to hear himself talk. Paul Stanley from Kiss is actually pretty much the same. He fucking loves to hear his own voice.
Yes.
So, and I mean, I like to talk, so I just kind of dumb when I'm forced to on stage. So I try not to force myself to. I mean, I even get to the points where it's like, hey, dude, like start the song. I don't have anything else to say. But on the other side, there's the Ramones. There's the Ramones and like the
1, 2, 3, go.
Stooges. Yeah, that's it. I think you should have a little bit. I mean, I know that I've definitely heard a lot of people say that they prefer that when people just play, but I think you got to keep it fun. You should keep it fun and interesting and personal. If that's your band. If you're just there to play music, then just play music. Like sometimes some bands just need to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
And there's definitely a line, and it's hard to find until you've crossed it.
I think it depends on, and it does very often happen in my mind anyway, with like bands that have something they're trying to say, and they want to make sure you understand the song. There was this band from Boston called The Prophets, like money profits, not like seeing the
Gotcha.
future. And they did a lot of political songs. They would often do like introductions to like a song, particularly if it was relevant to a current political thing, or when Colin Deb would go on tour and we would do patriarchy. Ripley, she would always make a point of like making people understand what this song was about and why it mattered, because what was happening in Florida. So I think there can be time for that. And, Dead Kennedys fan, Jello did a lot of talking.
Oh yeah.
Storytelling, or the Dead Milkmen. You have things like before Bitch You Can Marry, they told a different story every time I saw them live.
That's awesome.
But there was this band called 15. I don't know if you heard them. I bought old like Lookout record band. I bought their CD. The first one I bought, it was a live one, because I was by Live Records.
Right.
The dudes literally have separate tracks for his talking because he talks so long. So
awesome.
like they literally separated his talking into separate tracks on the CD, because there were times he's talking from 2 to 5 minutes. Like, yeah, this song is about a friend of mine. She was a revolutionary. She died now, but this song is about all the revolutionary things she did as a revolutionary.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm like,
that's funny.
oh yeah. I was like, I listened to the CD and I was like, skip. I was like, I don't need to hear all that banter. On the other hand, I love a good thing like the Circle Jerks gig album. So I was like, there we are. We're the Circle Jerks. And then it starts. I'm like, that'll do.
Right.
That'll do, sir. That'll do. I'll take that.
And if you've seen the Circle Jerks, you know that Keith does like to talk. They do 3 or 4 songs back to back, and he has like a hard stop where he tells his story and his whole thing.
Yep. And he did that.
And then they go right back to it.
Yep. Right before the song Wonderful on that album, he does was like, we wrote this song for you, for your parents, when they hear it playing in your bedroom, blasting it loud. Say what a wonderful thing it is that we're raising our kids to listen to music like this instead of all that crap that's out there. I feel like I almost literally just said that word for word, and I haven't listened to that album in like at least a year. Awesome. It used to be on constant rotation, but I just saw Off, and he said nothing.
Wow,
literally nothing.
And that's interesting, because you would think that he'd be plugging the movie, and the fact that they're playing the soundtrack right now.
Yeah, there's literally nothing. But when I saw the Circle Jerks out in Tampa, yes. Yep. Maybe it's a different band, right?
Oh, we went to that because we went to that show.
We went
together.
to that show together, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
I slept on your floor.
So yeah. Oh my god, my futon.
Your futon, my bad.
My futon. You left your Advil PM.
Yes.
That I was like, oh, I should ship back, and then I'm like, oh, I probably can't do that.
No, that's okay.
Oh, that's too funny, man. Yeah. That's super interesting, because I mean, they just they put out a whole movie and everything, so you'd think that he would say something.
Yeah.
And he's always it seems like he likes talking about the dudes. I mean, all the dudes and all the bands that he plays with, but he likes talking about these dudes because they're fucking phenomenal players.
Yeah, they're so insanely good. It's like
they're so good.
I was like, when I look at all of them, he's like, oh well, Circle Jerks can't tour all the time, and I'm not exactly Tim Barry, so I'm not going to pick up an acoustic guitar and roll like that. So I'm just going to hire a bunch of super talented young dudes and form a band with them, and they're going to say, form a band with Keith Morris? Fuck yeah.
Yep, that's where I would have been.
Yeah.
Been like, what? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like, hell yeah.
All right. So, best or worst stage banter you've ever heard? Does somebody stage banter that's ever been memorable where you're like, fuck, that was great, or oh my god, I wish they would stop talking?
I had to say Fat Mike with the vodka milk kind of got on my nerves a lot. It's like, dude, like, I know you like to drink, but someone brings him a vodka milk every time he says that, and it's like, dude, you're gonna die. And like, we're all surprised that he hasn't. It's fucking phenomenal. Like,
yeah, no, I read the No Effects book, so it's definitely surprising he has not died. So.
But and where I even said Mike Ness likes to talk a lot. And I want to say it's their Live at the Roxy record. There's a lot of stories he tells in that one, and I think they even start that set with Story of My Life, which is a super weird opener.
Yeah.
But he tells the story of growing up in Bakersfield, California, where you can't go to the mall and get pierced and walk out of your house with blue hair without a bunch of construction workers just beating the fuck out of you for no reason. And he's like, I was 5'8" and I hit the biggest motherfucker there, and it's great. And every time he introduces like "Don't Drag Me Down," you know, their anti-white supremacy songs and stuff like that. Hearing him talk about the Clash and Joe Strummer and how much he looked up to him is always fun. Like, you know, Mike Ness, like, he talks a lot, but I sort of enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, when I listen to a live album, if there's not any stage banter at all, I get kind of disappointed. I'm like, I love the live album, but I really do want to hear at least something at some point. Like, there's just something that makes it feel more live, just to have something that is said.
Yeah, like the Smoking Popes have a couple of live records, and it's mostly like it's really funny when he finally comes through and he's like, "Thanks for coming out," and then they just go into another song. And it's just like cute, really. It's like he just seems so nervous on stage to just talk.
Yeah,
and it's almost like he's like, let's just play some music, and I'm comfortable there.
Yeah, I mean, talking on stage is a difficult thing, I think. Right, it's hard to do because, you know, that's not what you're signing up for. You're not a public speaker, you're not a poet, you're not a comedian, you're a musician, and often you're awkward. Some of the best musicians out there are only comfortable when they're like singing the songs that they wrote versus like, oh, you want me to talk? All right, so speaking about talking and being awkward, I awkwardly forgot to actually end the episode in any realistic way. Steve and I just went on a ramble, chatting like good old friends that we were, and then we just signed off and, you know, said our merry goodbyes. And I'd see him Tuesday in New York when he was playing Brooklyn with Leave It Behind and some other peeps. So I didn't end the show. So I'm back on to end the show just by myself because I couldn't grab Steve. Thank you, Steve, RATH the Wise Guys, for showing up. Thank you, all of you, for listening and or watching or whatever it is you're doing to this video. It's up to you. No judgment whatsoever. If you enjoyed it, awesome. If you have any ideas of good live albums I should listen to grab some stage banter, feel free to send that my way. Or if you want to record your own, like, hey, this is my 30-second stage banter before a song, or if I broke a string or whatnot, feel free to send it. We got Instagram, we have Facebook, TikTok. You can find all that shit. I'm sure you're smart enough to figure it out. You can also email at dcpcbooking@gmail.com. I'll post all that shit in the links to wherever this gets posted to. Thank you all very much, and I hope you all take good care and later days.